Listen closely, because what I'm about to say is meant just for you, at this exact moment. It's no accident that you're hearing this now. I, your God, have been watching over you since before you were even formed in your mother's womb. I have seen every step of your journey, every success and every pain, every laugh and every tear. Now, I want to explain to you the reasons behind so many things that may have seemed unclear, why I allowed certain things to happen, why it felt like you lost something or had something taken from you. You thought your world was falling apart, that the little or much you had worked for was slipping away. You felt as though everything you cherished was being torn from your grasp. Your sense of security and identity was shaken. But I want you to understand that it wasn't punishment, it was love. This wasn't about starting over, like fixing something broken. It was about leading you toward a life that's built on something unshakable, something eternal. I am guiding you to a foundation that cannot be moved, so that you can live fully, truthfully, and with a purpose that lasts forever. Everything that's temporary will fade, but what I have in store for you will remain. I saw the times when you hid your true feelings just to avoid discomfort. I watched as you dimmed the light I placed inside of you, all to fit into places that were never meant for you. I saw you change, shape yourself, and even pretend to be someone else so that others would accept you. You altered your voice, your actions, your words, and buried your deepest dreams. All because you wanted to belong. Yet, deep inside, you knew that you weren't where you were meant to be. I also saw you grow strong on the outside, but not because that was your true self. It was because you didn't want others to see the vulnerability you feared they would reject. I saw how you built tall, strong walls around your heart, believing that by doing so, you would keep yourself safe from being hurt again. I saw how you became someone who smiled on the outside while your true self cried out in silence. And while those walls seemed to protect you, they were also taking away the chance for you to truly live as the person I created you to be. That's why, with my endless love, I allowed discomfort to grow inside of you. I let you feel like you no longer fit into the masks you had put on, because you were never meant to live hidden. I made those false appearances fall away like dry leaves in the changing season, not to shame you, but to set you free. I did not expose you to humiliate you, but to show you that you no longer have to hide. There is a part of you that no one else fully understood, because I am the one who first saw it. I made you with truth, with courage, with a light that reflects my love, and with a heart that can walk in deep connection with me. But for the true version of you to come out, I had to take away all the false things that time, pain, and others' opinions had built. Yes, it felt like you were losing yourself, like the person you were was slipping away. But what was really happening is that I was taking off the masks, the roles that were never yours, the labels that never belonged to you. While you thought everything was falling apart, I was getting the ground ready for the real you to grow. While you believed you were in ruins, I was clearing away the things that were stopping you from thriving. Listen closely now. Your tears were never wasted. Every single one of them was collected by me and placed as a seed in the soil of your heart. You did not cry in vain. Those tears are gifts that I used to soften the earth, where I will now plant something new and everlasting. And what seemed like the end was actually the start of something that can never be shaken. That's why I tell you, stay here and listen. Don't turn away. Don't block this voice, and don't ignore this call, because this is the moment I have set up for you. I have opened a door before you, and this opportunity you have today may never come again. Do not fear change. Do not hold on to what is already gone, because what I have for you is real, lasting life. This is your final invitation to step into the fullness of what I planned for you before the world began. I am here, speaking to you and waiting for your response. Listen closely, because my message for you doesn't stop here. What I am revealing to you today is not just a temporary comfort. It is a call to action, or a positioning, and a deep invitation. I am the one who sees beyond what you see, which is why I've worked in your life in ways you sometimes didn't understand. I cannot empower a shadow. I cannot crown an incomplete version of you that isn't the true work I created. The fullness of your destiny can only be revealed according to the perfect plan I set for you before you were born, not according to the script shaped by fear, old wounds, or others' expectations. That's why I searched for those parts of you that had been shaped to please others, to fit into molds that were never yours. I searched for where you were hiding, not to shame you or expose you, but to return you to the truth that is rightfully yours as my child. What felt like exposure to you was actually a deep healing, a restoration of your most intimate self. I didn't leave you in places where you were only tolerated, where you barely belonged. I brought you out of there with strength, even though it sometimes hurt, and led you to new ground where you would have to live with an open heart. What I am about to give you cannot be held by someone who hides their true self or pretends to be something they are not. What I am about to give you requires true honesty. It demands your wholeness. It calls for integrity without any masks, and it asks you to have the courage to show up fully as yourself, even when that true self doesn't fit the expectations of others. My beloved, I have been preparing you for this moment. You might not have seen it, but every difficult experience, every loss that brought you to tears, every betrayal you faced, has been peeling away the layers that were never meant to define you. And now, very soon, you will begin to experience a freedom you didn't know existed, the freedom to live as your true self, not as the person shaped by the approval of others or the demands of society. You will no longer live to protect an image, but to reflect the version of you that I saw from the very beginning. Then you will understand that the opportunities I place in front of you will not ask you to shrink or change who you are, but will instead align perfectly with the essence I created in you from the start. And when that happens, you will experience a peace so deep that it will wash away all the anxiety, restlessness, and doubt that once took your breath away. You will know that you are no longer waiting for something better, but you are finally moving toward what has always been meant for you. You will realize that what seemed like a fresh start is not just a return to the beginning, but the arrival of something so complete that you will see how everything in your life, every step, was part of the journey. What's coming will not be random or occasional blessings, but a steady, ordered outpouring. The right people will come into your life. The resources you need will show up. The clarity you've been missing will finally be there, and the doors that once seemed locked will open wide. All of this will confirm that you are no longer chasing what might happen, but you are walking confidently into your true purpose. Keep this truth in your heart. I have prepared these things for you, not just for you to enjoy, but for you to carry them with wisdom and responsibility. The blessings coming to you now are not just decorations for your life. They are the tools for the eternal purpose I've placed in your hands. They will not come before or after, but at the perfect moment, when you are truly ready. And when they arrive, they will not tear you down but build you up. And now, my beloved, that moment has come. Long before time itself began, my eyes were already fixed on every part of your life. There was never a hidden moment, never a forgotten second. I saw the start, the growth, and the end of every stage, long before you even experienced it. I watched as you took uncertain steps, made decisions out of fear, and chose comfort over truth. And yet, I never turned my back on you. I allowed some seasons to be tough, even painful, not because I wanted to see you suffer, but because I knew that in those moments, the fire was shaping something in you that no easy time could ever do. Do not think that my silence during some years meant I abandoned you. In those quiet times when it seemed nothing was happening, I was working in ways you couldn't see, putting things in place, shifting hearts, and blocking paths that seemed promising but were hiding dangers. I removed from your life those who pretended to help you, but who, had they stayed, would have weakened the very foundation I am building within you. I didn't let you carry unnecessary weight, because what I have for you requires spiritual lightness and clear vision. I cannot give authority or an eternal purpose to a broken version of you, or a reflection twisted by fear, past pain, or the expectations others put on you. The design I created for you cannot be replaced by the version you made just to survive. That's why I reached deep into your being and began removing everything that came from the need to fit in, everything born from the fear of rejection. I went to the place where you hid your true self, not to leave you open to shame, but to bring you back to the fullness that was always meant to be yours. I know that process was hard. You felt like the walls you had built for protection were falling down, leaving you exposed, but it was in this space that I was truly restoring you. Every wall that fell was made of insecurity, the need for shallow acceptance, and the desire for approval that depended on conditions. I didn't bring them down to leave you vulnerable, but to give you room to breathe, free from the pressure of a small, confining space. I wanted you to see that my protection isn't a prison, but a wide, open place where you can move with ease, without the fear that your true identity will be crushed. What I'm preparing for you can't fit into hands that hold onto a false image. What I'm about to trust you with requires a truth that stands firm, an integrity that doesn't change with the circumstances, and a completeness that isn't swayed by the desire for temporary approval. I've been working within you, shaping you, so that you can step into any situation with all that you are, even if your authenticity challenges the expectations of those around you. Because what I'm about to pour into your life cannot be carried by someone who dims their light to avoid discomfort. Every challenge you faced was a tool, chiseling away the false layers around you. Every disappointment peeled back a veil that kept you from seeing who you really are. Even those times when you felt out of control were actually moments when I was reclaiming the original design I had planned for you. Now, who you are is no longer defined by the labels people put on you or the image you created to protect yourself. The authenticity I've restored within you will be the perfect container for what's to come. Soon, you'll realize that the opportunities opening up won't require you to change your true self or shrink your voice. The responsibilities you will take on will align with the purpose I placed in you from the very start. Instead of anxiety, you'll feel a deep sense of peace, and you will understand that it's not about waiting idly, but walking confidently toward the fulfillment of what has always been meant for you. When my provision starts to show up, it won't be random. Every connection, every resource, every door, and every answer will come at the right time. Nothing will be a coincidence, because everything is part of a plan that cannot be stopped. What is coming will confirm that you are no longer chasing after what's uncertain, but that you have aligned with the eternal truth of your purpose. Everything I have set aside for you is not just for your own enjoyment, but to be handled with wisdom and a heart that doesn't seek praise or glory. I have waited for the perfect time to place you in a position where you can manage abundance without it changing who you are. I have kept these things for you so that when they come, you will see them not as simple blessings, but as important parts of the purpose I've always had for your life. This is the start of a manifestation that cannot be stopped because you are now ready to carry it. Every step in your life has meaning that goes beyond the present moment and place. No detail was by accident. Every decision you made, even those you thought were mistakes, has been redeemed by my hands to become part of a bigger picture, one that your limited view couldn't see. I've taken your darkest days and your brightest moments and woven them together to create something eternal, something that will not fade away. I am not hurried by the rush of time, for I understand it completely. I am the one who decides when a seed will grow, when it will bloom, and when it will bear fruit. I never push for a harvest before the right time, because true growth needs deep roots. In you, I've planted seeds that have been hidden longer than you expected. And even though you thought they were gone, they have actually been getting stronger in secret, getting ready to carry the weight of the blessings that are on the way. I've closed doors that seem perfect for you, but if you had gone through them, they would have led you off the path of your true destiny. I have also allowed some roads to be longer, not to make you tired, but to build your strength and understanding. Because I don't want you to mistake any opportunity for the right one. Not everything that shines comes from me. That's why I've helped you sharpen your hearing, so you can recognize my voice even in the midst of all the noise around you. There have been times on your journey when you felt like you were alone, but my presence was always with you, never leaving your side. I was with you in the silences, in the detours, and in the changes. When those you thought were unshakable turned away from you, I stayed steady, holding you up even when you didn't see it. I did not let the weight you carried break you because I knew the strength I was building within you. What is coming will not just be an improvement of what you had before, because I am not building on old foundations. I am creating something brand new, something that will not depend on broken or unstable ground. This new phase will be supported by a strength that does not bend and by a clarity that will not be clouded by fear. In what I'm doing now, there is no place for the doubt that once held you back. There will be no room for comparisons that made you feel small. I have removed the human standards so that you can see things through my eyes. You will no longer walk seeking approval because you will know that my approval is enough. And in that confidence, you will move forward, not worrying about applause or criticism. When my promises begin to come to life in front of you, you will see that everything has a perfect order. Nothing will happen too early, surprising you, or too late, leaving you exhausted from waiting. The exact moment is the one I've chosen, and when it arrives, you will understand that every delay was part of the plan. The people and opportunities I bring into your life will be just right and strong, and they will not depend on your effort to keep them, because I will have arranged them myself. The place I am leading you to is not just a physical location. It is a state of being. It is a position where your inner self and outer self are aligned, where who you are inside shows up without contradiction on the outside. There, you will not feel torn between what you dream and what you live, because they will be one. There, you will not have to hide your true self to move forward, because your true self will be the very thing that moves you ahead. This is a time when clarity will be so clear that you won't need any outside signs to know that you are on the right path. You will feel a deep peace, but also a strong, unstoppable strength that will push you forward. This peace will not be about being passive, but about knowing for certain that every step you take is guided and supported by me. And as you move forward, you will realize that what you once thought was out of reach has always been set aside for you, just waiting for the right time when you were ready to receive it. For a long time, you believed that your progress depended on approval, the perfect opportunity, or the help of people who seemed to hold the power to shape your future. But I allowed those things to fall apart, not to leave you unsupported, but to show you that the true foundation of your life is not in human hands. What I am preparing for you will not come from fragile connections or favors based on conditions. It will be the direct result of my intervention, and that's why no change in circumstances will be able to take it from you. In the story of your life, there are chapters you haven't read yet, and in those chapters, you will see that nothing you thought was a loss was ever wasted. The times you thought were setbacks were actually silent periods of building, where I strengthened the things that could not be seen. The most solid part of any building is the part that is hidden, and that is how it has been with you. Much of what I have done in you has been unseen, so that when it becomes visible, nothing can easily destroy it. I know there were seasons when it was hard for you to understand why things were moving so slowly. From where you stood, it seemed like everyone around you was moving forward while you were stuck in the same place. But while you saw stillness, I saw preparation. While you felt like you were just waiting, I was giving you the tools of discernment, patience, and strength to carry what is coming. Because the true blessing is not just receiving something but having the strength to keep it. In this new season, you will no longer be forced to struggle to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You will no longer need to change who you are to open doors, because the doors that will open for you will do so because of your true self, as I designed you to be. It will no longer be necessary to measure your steps in order to avoid discomfort, because what I bring into your life will match your authenticity. I have seen how, at times, the fear of making mistakes caused you to shrink your dreams, to settle for less than what I placed in your heart. That is why I removed those internal limits, because I don't want what is coming for you to be shaped by a restricted way of thinking. I will teach you to receive with confidence, to move without the need to ask for permission to be who you are, and to move forward without carrying the burden of proving your worth to others. When my plan begins to unfold in your life, you will see that it will not be just one opportunity that appears, but a series of perfectly connected events. Every step you take will lead to the next, with such precision that you will know you don't rely on your own strength or strategies to move forward. You will see surprising connections, resources that once seemed impossible to get, and solutions that will come exactly when you need them. You will also experience a change within yourself. The anxiety that once made you rush will be replaced by a steady, calm confidence. You will understand that what is yours in my plan does not need to be grabbed out of desperation, because it has already been set aside for you. And in that security, you will be able to make decisions from a place of peace, not fear. This is a time when what once seemed far away will begin to draw near quickly. It won't overwhelm you all at once, but come in a steady, organized flow that will help you adjust to each new stage without losing your balance. What is coming is not a reward for your human efforts, but the revealing of what has been set aside for the moment when your inner self and your purpose come together. When it arrives, you will realize that it was never just about reaching a goal, but about reaching a place of fulfillment where all areas of your life are in harmony. There, you will come to realize that true prosperity is not just about having things, but about living in harmony with what I have been shaping in you from the very beginning. What I am about to show you is not just about receiving something new, but about understanding the depth of what it means to walk in what has always been meant for you. I have set a time for you when you will no longer need to look for signs outside of yourself to know you are on the right path. The certainty will be within you, strong and deep, like a root that doesn't move with the wind. This conviction was not built in a day. It is the result of every moment where you chose to keep moving forward, even when you couldn't see the results right away. In the past, many of your decisions were shaped by the need to protect yourself from past hurts. Perhaps you chose shorter paths to avoid risk or took safer routes to prevent repeating the pain. But in this new season, you will no longer act out of defense, but out of trust. Fear will no longer lead your steps, but the clear vision I have given you will guide you. That clarity will not only direct your decisions, but will also draw in what matches your purpose and push away anything that might take you off course. I have not prepared this moment for you to depend on temporary feelings or passing enthusiasm. What I have built in you is strong enough to endure pressure and temptation. And that strength is not about being rigid, but about being flexible with wisdom guiding you. Not everything that comes your way is meant for you to take. That's why I have sharpened your ability to discern, so you can tell the difference between what seems good and what is truly part of my plan for you. Listen carefully, because I speak to you clearly and directly today. It is no accident that this message has reached you at this moment. I, your God, have been watching over you even before you were formed in your mother's womb. I have seen every moment of your life, every victory and every wound, every smile and every tear. Now I want to explain to you the reasons behind many things you didn't understand, why I allowed certain things to happen, why what seemed like loss occurred, and why things were taken from you. You thought everything was falling apart, that you were losing what little or much you had worked so hard for. You felt like you were being stripped of the things you loved, the things you thought were secure, the things you believed gave you your identity. But I want you to understand that this wasn't punishment, it was a work of deep love. This isn't about starting over, like rebuilding what was broken. It's about stepping into a life that is grounded in what is eternal, in what cannot be moved. I am leading you to unshakable foundations, where you can live fully, truthfully, and with a purpose that will last forever. Everything that is temporary will fade away, but what I've prepared for you will remain forever. I saw you in those moments when you held back your true thoughts to avoid discomfort. I saw when you dimmed the light I placed within you, just to fit in places that were never meant for you. I watched you adapt, change, and even disguise who you were to find acceptance. You changed the way you spoke, the way you acted, and hid your deepest dreams, all in search of belonging. Yet, deep down, you knew you were in the wrong place. I also saw when you appeared strong on the outside, but it wasn't your true strength, it was a shield to protect your vulnerability, the very part of you that you feared others would reject. I saw you build high, thick walls around your heart, thinking they would keep you safe from being hurt again. I saw how you became someone who smiled on the outside while your inner self cried out in silence. And while these defenses seemed to protect you, they were also robbing you of the chance to live as the person I created you to be. That's why, with my unchanging love, I allowed discomfort to grow inside of you. I let you feel like you no longer fit into the masks you had made because you were never meant to live in hiding. I allowed those false appearances to start falling, like dry leaves from a tree when the new season comes. I didn't do this to shame you, but to set you free. I didn't expose you to humiliate you, but to show you that you don't have to hide anymore. There is something inside of you that no one else fully understood, because I was the first to see it.